Hey guys, Auspicious Aussie here, and welcome to episode 14 of the AC Milan series. Now, today's episode is going to be the end of season review. But first things first, let's have a look at the league table. And honestly, I have to say this season is a failure. Like, we started off really well, but since probably just before January, we've fallen off completely. I don't think I'm not even sure if we cracked the top four since January, and that's sort of saying something. As you can see, we're currently still in sixth place, tied on 69 points with Sampdoria. However, as you can see, we cannot make the top four. We're 5 points behind Lazio, who pretty much didn't lose a game after the previous episode. We then have Napoli above them, Juventus in second place, and our arch rivals, Inter Milan, winning the league. At the moment, the gap stands at 4 points over Juventus, so they are crowned champions, as you can see there as well. Now, we don't really have any pressure on ourselves to finish in the Europa League spots, which, that's kind of good, I would say. But at the same time, I'm just a bit disappointed in both myself and the team as a whole. However, there is a shining light. And I say that because I started using this tactic, and it's a very, I would say, Italian tactic. More or less 3 centre-backs, got wing-backs going forward, no wingers. The wing-backs are attacking, so they essentially play as wingers. We then got 3 centre midfielders, with the central one being a roaming playmaker. And then up front, we have an advanced forward and a poacher, which is something I haven't really used in a very long time, in quite a few years on Football Manager. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, how have the fixtures gone? We've gained distance. We're on equal points with Sampdoria, which I believe we were 5 points behind them in the last episode. So, as you can see, since the Porto game, I changed the tactic after that game. The last episode was a pretty bad one for me. We lost both of the quarterfinal legs, 2-0 in the home leg and then 1-0 away from home. So I changed the tactic, and we managed a 1-1 draw at home against Juventus. As you can see, Ronaldo opened the scoring in the 53rd minute, and then Kessie got us an equaliser in the 58th before, getting himself sent off right at the end of the game. They also had Cellini get sent off for themselves as well. But since then, we've won 4 in a row, and as you can see, the score lines 3-0, 4-0, 3-0, and 3-0. We are dominating. The first of which was away to Genoa. 3-0 victory. Leao scoring a brace, which is pretty unheard of for him. The strikers, both Leao and Piatek, they're scoring goals, and I was essentially going to replace them. I probably still should replace one of them, or at least get another striker in. But at the moment, I kind of don't want to. Benassa was the other goal scorer in that game. We then returned home and managed to beat Chievo Verona 4-0. Piatek with a brace for himself, and Leao with another brace in this game. So 2 goals for each of our strikers. The next game was a 3-0 victory at home against Atalanta. Piatek getting himself a hat-trick in this game. The strikers score with this tactic. It's so strong, so incredible, and I'm really liking it. It fits the AC Milan mold so well, playing in Serie A. The third of his goals was actually a penalty, and the final game just played was a 3-0 away victory against Torino. Piatek, Duarte, and Leao on the score sheet. So Leao, apart from this game here, he scored, I think, 5 goals in 4 games, and he didn't actually even score in one of them. So It's working really well. It's going to be a big test today. We are versing the champions for this season. It is going to be a Milan derby, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get straight into the lineup. Of course, it is quite changed. So we've got Donnarumma in goals. Still playing a sweeper keeper, but on the defensive role, defend. We then got Aya Caldera, who's a central defender with a cover. If I go here, as you can see, he's playing a cover role, which is interesting. And then we got Romagnoli on the left side, also playing as a ball-playing defender, similar to how Aya and himself were with the previous tactic. The wingbacks, they're pushed up from the fullback position, and they're both set to attacking, as I mentioned. Rodriguez on the left, Calabria on the right. I was playing Conti, but I believe he picked up an injury, as you can see there. Also worth mentioning, Kessie's suspended, and Paquita's also recovering from injury. Rebic is also out injured, and then Krunic is also out injured there as well. But we do have Bernardeschi and Sisto back. However, they're both wingers, and they do not fit this tactic. So the one thing I'm doing is retraining Bernardeschi to play striker. I think he could be pretty lethal. His pace has dropped a little bit, acceleration and his pace. But I still think he could be a very, very good advance forward. And I want to try and play him as much as we can. We did put a bit of money into his transfer. Sisto, on the other hand, not really too sure. I'm currently retraining him as a right wing back, but he doesn't really have the defensive stats, as you can see there. So it's a bit of a tough one. Possibly could be a centre midfielder. You know, he's got good passing, but again, lacking a bit of tackling. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. He's really good crossing and dribbling. Obviously, really good pace as well. So that's why I feel like probably more suited to a wing-back position. But yeah. Now, the roaming playmaker will be Benassa for now. We obviously have other options with Blazer in there as well. But Benassa's done a pretty good role, considering he was more or less a defensive midfielder. The tactic is very similar. We also have the box-to-box midfielders here. Obviously, it would normally be Kessie and Paquita. But today we're going to go with Blesser and Abu Ba, who will be leaving the club as he's only on loan. So Bar's last game will be today. And then up front, like I said, we've got the advanced forward, who is Liao. And then Piatek is the poacher, which is his preferred role. So it works out really well. Probably the reason why these two are actually doing so well. They're obviously more suited to this role than they were to the deep lying forward sort of role that they were playing before on support. Anyway, the bench today is going to be Donnarumma, Duarte, Centelles, Sisto, Castillo, Kalu, and Bernardeschi. They look like they're going to go with a very similar, it's actually essentially the same tactic. But it looks like their center defenders are more flat, whereas Caldera is more of a covering central defender there as well. But yeah, it looks very, very similar. So it's going to be interesting. I'll tell the boys that I want them to get a bit of revenge, considering how the last game went. I'm not even sure if we've actually beaten Inter Milan on the series so far. Obviously, it's not going to really matter too much today, as Benassa gets in behind there. But it'll be a nice way to finish a pretty disappointing season, and obviously it allows you guys to see the tactic that I'm gonna be running with for next season. And I think we're gonna try and bring in some players that sort of fit the mold of the tactic a little bit more. Perhaps I don't want to replace Rodriguez, as Lukaku's in behind here, but I definitely want to look at some other left wing back options. Obviously, I mentioned the striker department before. They're playing pretty well at the moment, but obviously, it was a massive, massive problem for us earlier in the season, and is essentially why we're not getting Champions League for next year. Probably needs to be addressed, but we'll just have to wait and see. We'll also have to wait and see what happens with the loans going back to their respective clubs, with ourselves in Frankfurt, of course. That's a good save there by Donnarumma. Into with a corner. Straight into Donnarumma's arms. I mean, it doesn't exactly look like we're playing too well at the moment. But we are having the majority of shots and shots on target, despite having less possession. So it might be, I don't know, you would probably think it's a bit even. Obviously, their goalkeeper's playing pretty well, considering he's already made 5 saves in the game. I really don't want this game to be a draw. That would be a massive letdown. Alright, we've got to throw in. They've actually been pretty lethal. Anyway, Blazer, the bar. Calabria, bar again. I think this is our first highlight of the game. Rodriguez. The wingbacks are so important. Is that a penalty? Interesting. Kind of turned to nothing. Might be a penalty. It did kind of... It looked like he sort of tripped him a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't really give it. But it's Football Manager, the VAR, anything can happen. And yeah, no penalty. Fair enough, fair enough. At least the game has a little bit of common sense. Alright, Ramagnoli picking up a yellow card. The player instructions, they're not actually set to tackle harder. But I'm still going to ease players off. Just in case. I don't want players picking up second yellows and getting themselves sent off. I feel like if we actually do get a player sent off, I'd probably get rid of the roaming playmaker. And, I was going to say, how did we not concede there? But they do put it in the back of the net. And Inter have a 1-0 lead through Politano. I mean, it looked like a bit of a cluster. But yeah, Diogo Politano, who hits the post, essentially with an open net. And then, I mean, he got super lucky to get the rebound, which is unfortunate. I think I want to take Blazer off, or Blesser, and Bar. I mean, they're both pretty disgusting out there at the moment with 6.4s, but we just essentially have no one to bring on. What I can do is take Bar off and then bring Aya into midfield and have Duarte play as one of the ball-playing defenders. Anyway, Rodriguez with a long throw. Piatek. Ramagnoli is going to be offside, I think. Yeah, he's going to be offside. That's unfortunate. I mean, if we do actually lose this game from one shot on target, I don't know. I'm going to be pretty filthy with it. Oh, there we go. We're the home team, and you have Inter Milan lifting the title at the end of the season. One shot on target. It's just that's the type of season it's been recently. Anyway, let's do a little bit of a squad review. Ooh, I might actually get sacked. Ooh, that's a bit of a worry. Interesting. All right, so let's just do a little bit of a squad review. Obviously, the best player of the season, Bernadeschi, 7.45 average rating, 11 goals, 9 assists in 32 games. Such a miss. As soon as he got injured, the results fell away. We fell apart. Started drawing countless games. I mean, I think we might have the most draws in the entire league. I'm not 100% sure, but with that long-term injury, was 4 months, pretty much half the season, really. And yeah, I mean, hard to blame it on him. I can't blame an injured player, but it definitely took a massive toll on the whole team. Behind him, we have Benassa, 7.28 average rating, 3 goals and 8 assists for him. Done really well. Primarily defensive midfielder. Came into the box-to-box midfield, centre midfield role a little bit throughout the season. But yeah, was primarily that deep-lying playmaker. Behind him, we have Sisto, 7.23 average rating, 30 starts, 4 goals, 6 assists for him. Pretty decent outlay from him. We then have Rebic, of course, on loan. Second season at the club, 7.17, 18 starts. As you can see, the last 5 games were not good for him at all. But yeah, he got 4 goals, 3 assists to his name as well. Behind him, we have Rodriguez, 7.15, 37 starts with 0 goals and 4 assists. We then have the club captain, Ramignoli, the 7.11 in 43 starts. 1 goal, 1 assist for him. And the final player I'll go over is Rafael Leao, 7.10 over 42 starts with 4 sub-appearances, 15 goals to his name, and only 2 assists. So yeah, that is our second season. I have to say, like I said, I mean, we're probably going to get sacked right now, which is fine. Let's advance a little bit. Let's see if I get sacked on camera. Hopefully we don't, because I wanted to try and do something, but obviously we lost the game. We finish in 6th, which is pretty much where we were the whole season. We just lost to our rivals. We might even be able to sell Bernadeschi if we still keep our job. So they've given me the wage budget and the transfer budget, so I'm hoping they're going to keep me in the job. But I'm gonna keep advancing forward. Actually, do you know what I'll do? I'll pause the recording here, and I'll join you back if we do actually get sacked. Alright, so just had a meeting with the board, and basically what it came down to was they're about to sack me, but I've managed to keep the job, essentially just by asking them what can I do to save my job. And they literally said, you need to pick up 8 points in the next 5 games. So the first 5 games of next season, we have to get a minimum of 8 points. Otherwise, I'm going to be sacked. So there we go. Unless, of course, it's some sort of glitch or bug or whatever. And basically, because it's the end of the season, there's no more games. Maybe I'll just get sacked anyway. Who knows? Anyways, going to wrap the episode up, guys. Hopefully you'll join me back for the next episode, which is going to be pretty interesting because if I'm still in the job, obviously we'll carry on. But there's a possibility that I might not be. Anyways, drop a like on the video. been a crazy season. Hopefully we can just move on from this and do a lot better next season. Subscribe to the channel as well, guys, and as always, take it easy and goodbye.